You know, for the last decade or so, the browser you use has been a pretty settled question for most of us, right? Well, that's all changing. A new war for the internet is here, and this time it's not about speed or cool designs. It's a fundamental fight over what a browser is and what it can actually do for you. So, let's break down the battle lines.
Take a look at this number, 71.86%. That is the insane global market share held by just one browser, Google Chrome. It's an absolute titan. So you have to ask, how could a giant this dominant possibly be under threat? Well, it turns out that when the very rules of the game change, even giants can stumble.
So, here's how we're going to break down this conflict. We'll look at how the war was declared, pit the incumbents against the insurgents, and explore the new AI battlefield. Then we'll get into the big one, the stakes for your privacy. And finally, we'll talk about what the future of browsing is probably going to look like.
Right, so this whole conflict didn't just slowly build up, it exploded. Seriously, the spark was ignited by this really rapid series of events in late 2025 that sent some serious shockwaves through the entire tech industry.
This all went down in just a few months. It started with smaller players like Perplexity, but the real earthquake hit on October 21st. That's when OpenAI unveiled ChatGPT Atlas. The market reacted instantly, wiping billions off of Alphabet stock. The very next day, analysts were officially calling it the third browser war, and Microsoft, not wanting to be left out, immediately counterattacked. Just like that, the war was on.
Now, let's look at the two sides fighting for control here. On one side, you have the established rulers of the internet, the ones we all know, and on the other, you've got this new breed of challenger, built from the ground up specifically for the age of AI.
And as you can see, the incumbents, we're talking Google, Apple, and Microsoft, they control basically the entire landscape. Chrome's dominance is just staggering. This massive user base is their single greatest weapon. I mean, they're already on billions of our devices.
This creates this really critical strategic tension. The incumbents, they've got the users and the ecosystem, but they're basically trying to bolt AI onto these old legacy structures. The AI-native insurgents, like OpenAI and Perplexity, they're the exact opposite. They have this brilliant AI-first architecture, but no users. This actually explains why Perplexity reportedly made an audacious $34 billion offer to buy Chrome outright. They get it. Superior tech isn't enough. You need to own the platform.
So let's move to the new battlefield. For the last 2 decades, browser wars were fought over one thing: speed. Who could render pages the fastest? That war is over. The new conflict is about something way more profound. It's about changing what a browser is even for.
The key concept to understand is agentic browsing. Let me put it this way. Your old browser was like a map. It showed you where to find information, but you had to do the driving. An agentic browser, well, it's a personal chauffeur. You just tell it what you want. Book me a flight to London for next Tuesday. And it goes and does it all for you. It navigates websites, fills out the forms, and makes the purchase. It's a shift from just finding info to actually getting things done.
This shift is happening in 2 phases. Phase 1, which you see on the left, is passive AI. This is the stuff that's helpful, like tools that summarize pages or organize your tabs. They're nice enhancements. But Phase 2, over on the right, that's proactive AI, and that's the holy grail. This is where your browser can autonomously book that flight or add all the ingredients for a recipe to your Instacart. This is the technological high ground that both sides are desperately fighting to control.
Okay, so this huge power shift has massive consequences for us, the users, because an agent that can act on your behalf also needs unprecedented access to your data, and that creates this really tense triangle between privacy, profits, and peril.
This table really lays out the core trade-off. Just look at the agentic capability column versus the privacy stance column. You can see the conflict right there. A browser like ChatGPT Atlas offers very high capability, but it also comes with a high risk to your privacy. On the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got Apple's Safari. It offers very low risk, using tech that aims to prove it's not spying on you, but with more moderate AI features, at least for now. The choice becomes, how much of your privacy are you willing to trade for raw power?
And look, this isn't just some theoretical risk. This quote comes from an analysis of ChatGPT Atlas, which was found to retain memories of incredibly sensitive user activity. We're talking details about reproductive health services and specific doctors' names. When your browser becomes an agent, the potential for data misuse just skyrockets.
And beyond privacy, this war threatens the entire business model of the internet. For decades, websites have been funded by ads you see when you click on links. But in an AI world, you often just get the answer directly from the AI. This is the zero-click economy. This chart shows the trend pretty clearly. Traditional searches that result in a click are going down, while searches that end with just an AI answer are on the rise. This is a direct threat to the revenue that supports all the creators and publishers you rely on.
So where does this all lead? I mean, the next few years are going to see a dramatic reshaping of the internet as we know it. Let's look at a few key predictions for what's coming next.
First off, this crowded field of browsers we're seeing right now, it won't last. Running the powerful AI models needed for this agent stuff is incredibly expensive. This means we're going to see rapid consolidation, with tech giants buying up the smaller innovators and some players just shutting down.
Second, the market is probably going to split into two distinct camps. You'll have the utility camp, likely led by Google and OpenAI, offering you maximum power in exchange for your data. And then you'll have the trust camp, led by Apple and others, prioritizing provable privacy, even if it means slightly less powerful features. You'll have to consciously choose which path you trust more.
And finally, just adding an AI sidebar to an old browser isn't going to be enough. The future belongs to browsers where AI is the fundamental architecture, not just some add-on. The perfect proof of this is the browser company. They had a really popular browser called Arc, but they pivoted completely to an AI-native concept called Dia, because they recognized that a bolt-on approach was basically a dead end.
So we end on this question. Your browser is transforming from a simple tool you use into an active partner that acts for you. It's going to manage your money, your schedule, your entire digital life. So the question you'll have to answer is no longer just which browser is fastest, but who do I actually trust to be my agent in the digital world?